Hey everybody, Mr. Lasitis here. I'm just going to make a quick video walking us through this Nearpod because there's no video um, to guide you through on this one. So let's go through a few times. It'll have your guiding question that you're used to, your learning objectives. And then in the lessons, as you've seen, there is these slides to go through. So this is the walkthrough of what we're going to learn for today. It's going to be all about equivalent fractions and using area models to prove those. And pay special attention to the common mistake slides. These are great, and they are things that we do sometimes without thinking about them if we're going too fast. So make sure you focus on those two, slides 5 and 6. And then if you move ahead, you'll see there's a game here called Fraction Matcher. It asks you to work with a partner, of course. If you're doing this on your own at home, you can't. If you've got your learning coach nearby, they would make a great partner to work with, and they're actually going to help you out on a different part of this Nearpod as well. So if you want them around for the Fraction Matcher game, that would be fun. And it's through PhET, which is an interactive simulator that we've used quite a bit in class. So start at level 1, see how many you can match, and see if you can get all the way to level 8. It's a pretty fun game to play. While you're going through the simulator, be thinking about some examples of equivalent fractions that you found so you can write at least a few of them here in the question after the simulator. You'll head through, and here's what I'd like to show you is an example of mostly what you're going to be looking at for today. So it'll give you these fraction models here, and it asks you to circle the fractions that are equivalent. So you'll take your pen tool, of course, and you'll look. We can do this just by looking at the amount of space they're covering, right? This one looks like it covers from here to here. Well, this is definitely smaller, right, than that one. And I can see by counting the squares that this has 1, 2, 3 columns that are full and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows that are full. So I know 3 times 4 is 12. So that has a total of 12 shaded in out of 4 times 4, which is 16. So that has 12 out of 16. This one, if I looked at it, only has 2 columns and still has 1, 2, 3, 4 full rows. That's 2 times 4. That's 8 out of the same amount, which is 16. So I can see that that one is less as well, mathematically and on the model. And if I look over at these two, well, this one just looks weird, right? It's got a space missing here. This one's not filled in, so it's definitely not equal to this one. But let's look at the amount of space it takes up versus the first one here. Those look like a match, right? Even though the sections are bigger in this one, right? This distance from there to there, like it's only 2 rows long, and this one over here was 4, but it's the same amount of space taken up. So I would say those two are equivalent. We could circle them, and those two would be equivalent. And we'll work on doing this mathematically as well. This is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So that's my numerator, 6 out of a total of 8. So we can see in the model and in the fraction itself that those two are equivalent. 12/16 is equivalent to 6/8. So you'll have a few of those to practice. And it says practice in pairs here. This is where your learning coach will come into play. I'd like you to go through these. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 3 of them. So go through these 3 and have your learning coach check them for correctness, and then you can go ahead and move on to the independent practice after your learning coach checks those. And there's a few slides worth of similar ones where you're circling equivalent fractions and writing models, drawing models for equivalent fractions. And there's a total of about 20 slides. This one might be a good 2-day lesson where you could get through the pairs. So get through this slide with your learning coach, and then the next day you can go back and review these ones pretty quickly and then move on to the independent practice for day 2.